Oh, so, okay. Blurry. Watch this magic trick. Sharp. Nope. 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 Hold on. Hold on. Hello, Chiara. Luba. What do I do? Hi, chat. How do I... Oh my god. Ah, there we go. Hi. So I had quick thought in the bathroom. Hold on. Okay, so I thought of something funny, and this is what it is. Oh, that's good. Great lighting. Craggy. Oh, getting older. Can't chase the moonlight. That's not a song. So, I would like to make a case for 3 things. 1, falling in love is very easy. And I think you can fall in love with, if you're lucky. This is not a joke. I think you can fall in love with, at the very least, 5 people a day. Yeah. And maybe at the most, well, you could fall in love with the whole country, but that's not really falling in love with everybody. That's falling in love with an idea. And also some facts. But, okay, staying on topic. You can definitely fall in love with nobody each day, because Hollywood says that love is very rare. It's not. But levels of getting to know somebody to know that you like them takes a little while. So love at first sight is really what? Like teen bop. Like you see a boy on the cover of a magazine and you fall in love with him. Zac Efron. Zayn. The Beatles. Princess Buttercup. Lita Ford. Paula Abdul. The people in the poster. Tracy Lords. Love at first sight. And then what follows the love at first sight for many young boys and old boys and any boy? A wank. Then a wank. Wanka. And then, but hooking up is hard to do because it's a hassle. It's a hassle. That's why people pair up. I'm so late to the party. People pair up because it's easier. God, if you try to hook up, I go to every city. I travel a lot. So traveling gypsy whores can tell you the tea. This is how we know. When you move to a new city, you're like a stranger in every city. So what you have to do, either have a very secure inner solitary life, know how to talk to the people you need to know how to talk to, bellhops, cab drivers, airport staff, hotel staff, and then your job, whatever it is, whether you're traveling cross-dresser like me, so you need to know how to entertain. But trying to create a new sexual relationship in another city, of course it depends on how hot you are, but that's not only it. Because even if you're very hot, then having good sex is really hard. I know that because I know plenty of hot people. And also nowadays, if you're really hot, that's a different struggle because then you're probably trying to market yourself in some way. I.e., you're like me, I'm hot in drag, so I market myself as a whore, literally. But I've also been a whore. And sometimes the easiest way to hook up with a person is if you have the money to buy a hooker, bitch. What does a hooker do? Let's start. Hold on. Hooker's too broad. What does a high-paid, high-functioning, and excellent at their job, that's very variable. That's, there's a lot of variables there. Sex worker do? What do? They provide a fabulous sexual service in a time frame and for a price. Negotiable usually, depends on who you're talking to. Depends on if they're coerced by a pimp, but usually I'm talking about a person who enters this, a hooker who wants to be a hooker. And I was that hooker part-time for a while, and I got to tell you, but see, my situation was a bit offbeat even for hookers, because I never had to worry about my safety ever. Ever. Not ever. And I did it a lot. Never once worried about my safety. And that was reckless when I was lucky. Because I had the key, I had the power of what? Discretion. I worked as a cross-dressing hooker. And that meant that most of the men who came to visit me, not all of them, most of the men who came to visit me wanted to be discreet because they had a girlfriend, they had a wife. Now, because I was providing a service to this person, I didn't feel any ethical or moral ambiguity at all about their personal lives, because that was none of my business. When I hooked up with them for free, that's when I started to become more interested in their history and the sociology of what I was engaging in, right? Because like a person who doesn't care that much would be like, I just wanted that dick. Give me that fucking dick, which is great, because as long as you can get the dick and it's safe and it's relatively, it doesn't even need to be super compassionate, because there could be great fantasies involved, but it has to be decent, obviously. Ugh. You just can't fuck with dickheads because they're not worth it. And you should withhold your pussy from a dickhead, because that'll round the way, perhaps help dickheads realize that they got to be nice to get some pussy. Even though I was, in the proverbial sense, I was the one giving the dick to the pussy, and the pussy belonged to a man, and it was his butt. Well, you do the math. But yeah, shit. I wish there was like Grindr. Oh God, it's just this back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. This picture, this picture, this picture. How hung are you? Show me 14 pictures of your knees. Show me your elbows. Let's see them shoulders. Let's see them back of the shoulders. How about that neck? How long is the neck? Show me the neck. It's like, oh my God. No me gusta. No me gusta. Obviously, the reality for gay folks, though, is that you can't walk down to the local bar necessarily. Well, straight people do have it tough, too. But a lot of straight guys don't expect to get laid ever, because they know it's a crapshoot. They throw out their net, if you're a good-looking guy, you get all the power. You try not to be an asshole while you dick down, like, dozens of females. But if you're like, if you're a moderately attractive looking guy and you're funny, oh, that's the best though, because then you can actually talk to people. And then sometimes, although it sounds cheesy as hell, you can go down and have a great time without getting laid, just by talking to people. Literally by trying to get laid but not being a dick about it, you could have a wonderful night of scintillating conversation with dozens of people, both men and women, and then walk home semi-drunk or totally drunk or not even drunk and have a great night, which is wonderful. But I wish there was a hooker app, because sometimes I really just want to get laid and not jerk off and have it be 15 minutes and that's it. If I, as a woman who, as a person who worked as a hooker, bitch, let me tell you, and I fucked all attractive guys. I fucked a couple of guys who I found very unattractive, just guys who I wouldn't fuck for free, and sweet guys, nice guys, wonderful guys. Thank God. And I realized that after seeing them once or twice, I just couldn't get the dick hard. I tried Viagra, I couldn't get it hard. And if you're going to be a hooker and you got to get that dick hard, you got to figure out a way to get that dick hard, or else don't be a hooker, because then you can't provide a service that, unless you're going to be a bottom hooker and then say, invite these gentlemen to go to Pound Town. If that town is ready, your town being your butthole, then honey, open the gates and get that cash. But otherwise, yeah, if you're a top hooker and you can't get the dick hard, you got to try something else. Pizza delivery, banking, education, skateboard deliveries, I don't know, anything else. Or figure out it, or strap on. Hey, strap on. Give him a therapy lesson and fuck him with a strap on. Say, hey, how are you doing today, Frank? Oh, your name's Doug? See, now we know more about each other. Yes, God. No, it's 2:15. I'm in Seattle, and it is cold. But I had a great time talking. I hope you did too. So the point of this story was, we started with, just so I remember, I'm not going crazy. We started with hookup apps are a pain in the ass because sometimes, well, yeah, I guess sex is just not, I think that's always the takeaway for me. If I get frustrated about sex, I always realize that sex is great, but it's like a meal, And you don't need it every day. You know, that's the wonderful thing. Sex is like food, but sex is actually for a person who's got a purpose. If you have a purpose, like if you have a purpose, if you ever felt you had a calling, if you ever felt like you have passion, then you know that sex is not as important as that. But for a lot of people, and this is where you can't be too generalized about it, sex is a really important thing in their life. Like fucking people and doing it well and doing it fun and doing it in a way that's respectful and super hot is really important to people because it's relief and it's connection. But sometimes you can't have sex, and that's okay because that's when that's how you avoid sexual violence, bitch. Men need to understand that at the drop of a hat, they need to be able to turn off that instinct, and that's tough for men. When you have a sexy hot woman on you, it is a tough lesson for an aroused, virile creature to just pull the plug, and that's really scary. So I don't want to talk about goddamn rape right now. But yeah, so that's a big lesson for men. That's a lesson for me. That's a lesson for priests, monks, construction workers, barbershop owners, barbershop barbers, race car drivers, CEOs, presidents, congressmen, senators, judges, airline pilots, 18-wheel ice road truckers. I'm obviously just listing every job that is typically filled by a man. UPS drivers, the list goes on. So men, if you're out there, the three of you who may be listening out of the 374 and the numbers are climbing downward, please don't rape nobody, because that's fucking shitty. Goodbye.